So what's up, beautiful people? It's your boy Shava Ranks with Limitless, and today I have two special guests here today. We're going to be sharing a little bit about how they are, their journey, how their journey has been. But not only that, we're going to get into a little bit of nutrition and a bit of business. And then lastly, we're going to touch on mental health. We really want to get into the crevice of mental health. And so, yeah, I'll let them introduce themselves. Beautiful Brendan and Michaela.
Thanks, Shava. All right, so I'm Michaela. I am a business owner. We're business owners, so we own a nutrition and training business.
Nice.
So a lot of this is we things too. So we have a 4-year-old daughter. I am in a lovely relationship with someone I've been with for nearly 10 years now. And last year I competed and did win my IFBB Pro alongside the New Zealand figure title. So
nice.
Kind of comes alongside it. But
yes,
I suppose for me too, just to put some intentions here today, here with Shava. Shava we know on quite a personal level as not only a client but also someone that is a friend of ours.
Yes.
And we have a big adventure coming up that we're excited about, but we really want to share this time with you.
Yes,
so
wow.
We're looking forward to getting past the surface level of who I and Brendan are for the depths of what's to come.
Come on. Yeah. What about you, Mr. Brendan?
So I'm Brendan. I'm the famous other half of this lady right here. So all of those things, ex-WFF Mr. New Zealand.
Come on.
Interested in martial arts, jiu-jitsu, that type of thing, and really just trying to grow, broaden our horizons, get further in business, life, and just support our daughter to be an amazing human being, and
the cyclone that she is.
The cyclone that she is, and just excited to sort of be here today with you, my brother.
Same.
You know, just sort of see where this takes us. Exciting.
Nah, that's cool. You know, you guys, so they are my coaches, just to let you guys know. I've been with Brendan probably for about 3 years. Somewhere around there.
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take. You know, it's been a lot of ups and downs. You know, I'll speak about myself anyway. It's been tough, you know, just the mental challenge that has come with nutrition, coming with training, and just how my relationship with food, you know, all of that stuff.
Relationship with self.
With self as well.
All the things you don't know. Actually, the core foundation. And like for me, it's been really awesome to know that I've had someone to be accountable to, you know, even though like when, you know, it's been really tough and I've had like bad weeks and I'm looking at the scales and things are not moving and I'm like, coach, like, you know, I need your help, you know. So I really commend you as my coach, and I know Michaela is also doing pretty well with her clients as well. So yeah. I'm sure a few people have a few questions about nutrition, and one of the things that maybe we can touch on or want to get into is how do people, for those who, let's say, don't have a coach or who are a little bit scared about getting a coach, how do people get to calculate their macros or what their intake should be?
I suppose that's an interesting question. For beginners, and especially if you haven't kind of got that guidance from a coach, obviously it's not all about that. And you need to be able to start regardless. Really, it's just sort of looking at foods as just wholesome, nutritious, that type of thing. What your body requires on a daily basis in order to get through your exercise, get through a stressful day of work, managing your kids or whatever it is. It can be tricky because there's a lot of information out there. And really, it's deciphering which information applies to you, which is
to each individual.
Which is really where the whole coaching thing comes in. Because you sort of
It's kind of hard with tracking too. Tracking is something that it's one of the many approaches that we apply with clients.
Yeah.
But it's potentially not something, if you're uncoached, I probably wouldn't actually recommend it so much in the beginning.
Okay.
If you use a lot of the apps that actually help you with tracking foods and you go off their calculations, we've had clients come on to us in those situations and they're severely under eating.
Okay.
So in that regard, I probably wouldn't really recommend macros in that sense.
Okay.
I've been looking more towards, like Brennan said, trying to advance your knowledge in what actually is a carbohydrate, what actually is a protein and fat.
Yes.
And understanding that none of these things are actually bad.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
Obviously, some people will have intolerances and that sort of thing.
Yes.
But the beauty is in the balance of everything.
Yes.
We find a lot of people, although we do support those that do it, we find that those that go down the path of keto and those sorts of things and exclude total food groups, extremely restrictive.
Yes.
And actually puts you in a place of not being able to keep it up long term.
Yes.
It's kind of like my thing I really like to say is if it might work for you short term, but if you can't maintain it long term, it never worked in the first place.
Yeah. That's what it's about, and that's something that I've been learning up from you guys, that you always wanna, and I think that's been your approach with nutrition, is that, you know, it has to be sustainable. It has to be sustainable.
Allow for balance.
Yeah. And like, I think, because when I remember, because we've been taught that there's good foods, bad foods, you know, like, and a lot of people have said, oh, don't eat fries, for example, right?
Yeah.
Don't eat fries, they're not allowed. And don't eat sugar, you know, but when I see you guys implement your plans, I'll find some people having lollies.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
This is understanding the individual and the timings.
Yes.
And just what the body actually requires, utilizes, and what it's going to do with those substrates, so the protein, carbs, so the fat, you know, what it's actually going to do with it. And kind of understanding a little bit more in depth that when these things enter the bloodstream, they're kind of like sugars, carbohydrates, it's all just glucose anyway.
Glucose,
But how much does this individual require based on their output, their daily lifestyle, all that type of thing. So that's still a suitable option to prescribe. It's a tricky one. So there's obviously there's a science to it. And a lot of that comes with experience and that type of thing, and working with so many different individuals.
So if you had to simplify it, and if you know,
We're trying.
Simplify.
If you could simplify it, and if you could, because like you're saying that there is a science behind it, what is the general rule of thumb for calorie intake, for example?
There's not.
Not really. So we'll go a little bit jargony to give you a little bit of this. So when we're looking at a client, and I'm talking mostly here for females, but it's kind of generalized for men, we're looking at 1 gram of fat per kilo of body weight.
Okay.
When we're looking at protein?
Around anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 grams per
kilo of body weight. Now, male to female, a female would be on the lower end of that spectrum for me. Men, you'd probably leave in the middle to higher.
And depending on their goals, obviously. And then generally we kind of make the rest up in between with carbohydrates. So fuel source, you know.
But that is very generalised. But it gives you some idea of numbers, because I say we're working someone through a build phase for a while, we'll push those fats. So they won't be 1 gram. Someone get into a cut, now we'll manipulate them down. But when we actually start looking at specifics, we have to be careful with the angle with fats, for example, because they help with hormonal balance. So you push fats too low or too high, and now we throw all the hormones out of whack. It's kind of generalised to help.
It's really hard to generalise. That's why it's such a individualised approach. You know, and that's another thing that for us, like you say with yourself, like you have those ups and downs, and for us it's about having enough data to kind of read between the lines. And sometimes I'm looking at stuff and I'm going, man, what's going on with Shutter?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to check in and see how life's going on for Shutter.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, like, man, it's been hectic.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, I understand.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to spend a little bit more time just focusing on prioritizing
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Take the stress off here.
Yes.
Chill out.
Yes.
Get things back in balance.
Yes.
And then we can start sort of ticking along again. Let's just look at holding it here while we get things sorted.
Yes.
And then we can push it again.
Yes.
You know? You've seen that a lot with yourself recently.
Absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely.
Because you're burning the candle at both ends.
Yes.
You're doing what you're doing all your fulfilling all your requirements.
Yeah.
But it's not quite
there
giving the results that.
But and
it's like, fuck, okay, cool, what's going on here? Well, actually, stress is a little bit high.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay,
cool.
Yes. We understand. So we need to manage that element first.
Yes.
In order for all these things to keep progressing where we want them to.
Yeah.
I think this is what a lot of people can kind of miss with the idea of having a coach.
Yeah.
Get someone that will message and say, look, I want to lose 10 kilos in 12 weeks. And it's like, and because we're a coach, you think that there's the experience there to achieve that for you. We still have to learn and understand about your body with you. So yes, there is an element of that, and yes, we can understand looking at your history and that sort of thing, kind of the perfect spot to start you. But there's still a learning and understanding of the best way, not only for your body to change, but for your mind to believe in the change we're trying
to achieve.
Yeah. Because a lot of it's belief too. So
it's that buy-in, bro. It's that trusting the process. It's you literally you can see it, you can hear it when someone's mind goes like that.
The click,
and it's like, oh wow, everything's starting to happen. They've got it. You know, like
it's like yes. Yeah.
I think that's similar to what you're saying with the whole, because like it was up until I understood, because I always heard about recovery. You know, I always heard about recovery. You need to recover. I thought because you hear different opinions, like there's no such a thing as overtraining, you know. But for me, it was until I hit that wall where I was like, oh, okay, like there is something called overtraining, or there is something called recovery. You know, like really like utilize your recovery well.
Under overtraining or under recovery.
Under recovery.
Absolutely. In that kind of that sense, right?
And
that's often how we'll look at it too. Because we can support training. And we can support lots of training. But if the recovery's there, not there to support that lots of training, then we start pushing those lines, and then we start to fall into those issues.
How do you know from an individual, like, so for example, let's say you're programming someone, how would you program recovery for a bodybuilder, for example? And when do you know, for example, that they should have deload weeks, not have deload weeks? When do you implement that?
It's all really based on their lifestyle.
Okay.
It's based on how many hours of work they do a day.
A lot of people, it's simplifying.
It is
simplifying. Because like a lot of, especially bodybuilders or people that come to us going, oh, I'm an IFBB pro, or we've both been WFF pros in the past. How'd you get to there? Actually doing less than what you're doing. You know, and people in mind like, how can you do that? I'm training 6 or 7 days a week and I'm not getting that back. We train predominantly 4, but again, like when you add jiu-jitsu and those sorts of things, we had to adjust that.
Training.
So it's finding the fine balance. But it's also, this is a hard thing when, like, looking further than bodybuilding. Like a lot of my clients coming through at the moment are F45, CrossFit, lots of these stuff. And they're training morning and night. And it's really hard to kind of look at that and go, look, if you're coming to me for fat loss, I have to give my honest opinion here is training 6 or 7 days a week like this. It's actually, it's not really helping. But we then start to look at the emotional element of why they're training morning and night. It might be more for the interaction with others. To run away from something. But it's the hardest part to change. Because you say, look, if your goal of fat loss is really that important, then we need to cut some of those trains out. So there's a lot more to coaching and making progress within your own journey, as you know, than just tracking your macros, doing steps and doing workouts. It's being able to deal with here and here, and deal with those feelings as they come up, and ultimately transform who you are on the inside to change on the outside.
Nice.
And look, at the end of the day, anyone can take someone for a workout and thrash them out
Yeah.
and have them huffing and puffing and lying on the floor at the end of the session.
Especially because that's what a client typically thinks they want.
And there's an element of that when you do something hard like that, you have a hard workout, you feel good afterwards.
Yeah.
But it's also looking at that individual and going, what does this person really need?
What's their body telling us?
What's their body telling us?
Yes.
What's their, what are they communicating to me that they need back from me? It's specific here, I could thrash that person out and fucking have them lying down thrown up in the corner. Probably don't need that,
absolutely.
and are we going to be able to sustain that long term and actually help that person change and help them see that this is what's better for them than just doing this all the time. And how far has this got them? This has got you to here, but you're not happy with here. So maybe we have to change some things, and that's often the hardest part, because people, it's getting out of your comfort zone. It's a hard thing to do, regardless of what it is.
A lot of what we do is almost, it's the less is more thing. So when people come to us and we say, look, you actually need to be doing less than you're currently doing, and eat more food on top of that too. They're going, hang on, you're challenging every belief I've had my entire life. And all my friends, I'm telling them what I'm doing, and they're like, how are you training less? Why are you eating more? And how is it actually working? So they have to be able to believe in themselves, and like we were talking about on the couch before, they have to be confident enough to be in a space where everyone wants to be the same and be different, and own that. It's quite a challenge, because it would almost make more sense for people to show up and just keep thrashing them. So they really have to, when they first come on, be like, I'm paying you to help me change, so you can change others. This is so weird, but I'm just going to try
Trust.
it.
Trust. It is about trusting the coach, because you touched on something earlier on, which is some people come to you and are like, 10 kgs in 12 weeks, I need to lose it.
Often.
Very often. But
what's your goals? This is my
goals.
Okay, cool.
Let's
just step this. We look over everything and we go, cool, this is your goal. Here. This is where we are here. We've got to have a process to get there. And this is part of the journey, and part of you growing as an individual, is that we have to go through these things to get this result.
We can possibly go from here to here, but going from here to here is not how we do things, because this is putting your health, mental, physical and otherwise, at risk. Going through the process and journey, while we're going to learn patience, and we're asking you to ride this with us, we're going to actually improve all aspects of you along the way, if we can get to that point. It's a hard... But see, a lot of people, when they come on, they might have these 10 kg goals, or they might say, I need to be keto. A lot of the time, they're actually just looking for direction. So when we reflect back and say, look, I understand where you're coming from. From my perspective and experience, this is what we need. They go, oh, all I wanted to do was pay a coach that knew what I needed. Like, thank you. And then they give that over to you. But because they try for so long to create this plan in their mind of how to get there, and a lot of the time they just want guidance.
How do you guys find, with new people that come to you guys, or even people that don't, because you just touched on something as well, which you said, they've been looking for someone to really guide them, and they've come with the money to say, hey guys, can you please help me? Because I kind of struggle with, some people will come to me and work with me for 3 months, and even within that 3 months, they are not patient enough to see through the results, and so how is it that what are the factors that you can bring to a relationship with people for them to be able to trust you, to say, hey, look, we haven't gotten the results that you're looking for from this point to this point, but keep trusting that for the next 3 to 6 months, for however long it's going to take, we will get there. What is your guys' way of...
It's almost like having a knack, having that experience, to understand what an individual is communicating
To
to you. Yeah, and it takes a bit of practice, and it takes a bit of time, and it takes being able to relate.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I've got a perspective if you want me to share.
yeah, you go for it.
So I think something, especially when we're first getting into coaching, is you're almost, when someone comes to you and you're trying to grow a business, especially when, so how we first started was Brennan was in the supplement store and I was working in a cafe.
Yes.
He took that first jump, and when you finally make that jump, it's like, oh my God, everyone that comes my way, I need help because I need to get the practice, but I need the money.
Yes.
So
yes, that's a thing, right?
Yeah, but so I think we're in a place now with it where although it can be hard, we make it very clear what our process is before they sign up.
Yes.
To the point that for some it may even scare them off by saying, look, we do 12-week terms. However, this first 12-week term, it's not going to be about fat loss. I know that's what you want, but we need to work through a phase. Yeah, mindset and getting your body in a situation to be healed on the inside, to be ready for a cut.
Yes.
So having those intentions so clear and being like, look, this is what I have to offer you. If it doesn't resonate and you just want a fast change, someone else down the road is going to give you that. But if you give me the time, we're going to get somewhere. You know, like, so in that regard, it's a confidence in self, because you could be pushing those people away and potentially that money will go elsewhere.
Yes.
But they're more committed to you because they understand the process.
Yeah, it's because you really have to develop foundations with people.
Yes.
We have to build a relationship.
Yes.
We have to get some real stable basic habits developed and consistently followed in order for everything to sort of start working in unison in order for them to get the results they desire. You know? And often we will say, look, this first 12 weeks, this is what we're going to do. We need to develop some basics. We need to get things moving. And fat loss is often a byproduct of that. If you trust the process and you take the guidance and you communicate with us so we can support you through this phase, you know?
It's all in the way you word it too, I suppose, and it's what you've got to be able to try and decipher within a couple of messages back and forward how you could word it in a way to make this person understand it.
Yes.
And like with a lot of women in particular, they come on and they've already been starving themselves for the past 10 years trying to make weight loss.
Come
So
on. Can you speak a little bit about that? Like in terms of, because I think naturally people come with the ideology that calories in, calories out.
Eat an apple, I'll lose weight.
But we don't really have enough information. Whereas your guys' approach, for example, would be eat 6 meals, where somebody would be like, what? Eat 6 meals? Like, I thought I should be eating less, not more.
It happens probably more often than not that when they see that plan come through, I'm eating that much food. But because a lot of our approach, especially in the beginning, it's the foundations is around metabolism and thyroid. So we're trying to stimulate and get that working more efficiently. As opposed to what ends up happening with eating an apple a day and doing high output is your metabolism starts to slow right down, and now fat loss slows right down. You need an efficient system, and the way I work to my ladies is that they've gone a long time hating their body, and they need to now start loving their body in order for it to love them back and allow them to make the changes. I mean, it's a bit simpler.
Kind of, but it's the same sort of thing, because someone will come to us and they're in this situation and we look at everything, we break it down and we go, okay, cool. Ideally, him or her, they need to be here. They're here. We can't throw them in. We can't do that because the body's not like and
psychologically
it's too much to deal with. You know, so it's like we have to start you here, and we'll explain that, and we'll say, look, cool, this is the situation. You could, but we'll start you off here,
we tell
and then
them
we're going to slowly work towards these goals along the line, and then get you here, and then we can reevaluate. You know.
You might explain to them when they come on, like, this is where we're starting and this is where we hope to end. And then, oh my God, I can't imagine getting there. We don't have to get there, but this is so you have some understanding of where we're potentially aiming, because then they can start to get their heads around and understanding the approach. I think a lot of people, in order to buy in, and this probably reflects our own personalities, is knowing that in order for us to buy into something from someone else, we need to know why we're doing things. And I think a lot of coaches, it's like, I'm not going to tell you anything other than what I have to tell you, so I keep you on free. So there's nothing more freeing than teaching them all the ins and outs.
Yeah.
What we do is not, it's not that what we do isn't complicated, but we know how to say it in a way that we can teach the clients so they understand and learn and grow.
Yeah.
The day we get a message and say, hey, like I've loved and appreciate the relationship, but I'm confident to do this on my own, it's like a little bit sad because you built their relationship, but it's a big feeling.
It's a win.
We've done our job as a coach. You're coaching someone, you know? You don't want dependency.
Yeah. What would your best, because there's obviously been a rise in like our health industry. I've been seeing a lot more people going to the gym, a lot more people wanting to be coaches. What is your advice to people who are just starting out as coaches, business wise?
Look deeper than the surface.
Yeah.
I mean, in regards to qualifications as well.
Yeah. I think it can, like, everything kind of gets dressed up as all these fancy things, like
Glamorous.
you know, like I can charge this much an hour for this and this, you know, and that type of thing. But you've got to start somewhere, and obviously, like being available for people. So you know, you can set prices up here and all this type of thing, but do you actually want to help people?
Yeah.
Why are you
That's a good start.
Why are you doing this? Like, do you actually want to help people?
Yeah.
Like, we're here to help people.
Yeah.
On that note, it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really
To
hard.
help people. Yeah.
And we
Absolutely.
talked about this a bit before about being a coach, you've got so much energy to give others, and sometimes you don't have any for yourself.
Yes.
We talked about this recently with the comp prep that I did last year.
Yeah.
I was okay, but I was in mad hole at one point because of the depletion and what you're doing. But almost giving back to everyone else helps you to just keep moving forward too. And it's an exchange of energy. But yeah, if you like Brendan said, if you're not sure why you're doing it, it's not an easy path. Especially PTing just generalized, because everyone's a PT these days. You have to offer something more. You've got to be Shaba, you've got to be Nikayla or Brendan and know who you are, not just another person that's done the work course, because there's so many out now, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's where a lot of being a coach, even like now, is that we will continue growing for our clients because we're still growing.
Yes.
The more you can offer with the way we get ourselves forward and progress, the more we can help as well.
How do you guys fill your cup up?
How do we fill our cup up?
Yeah.
Brendan fills my cup up.
With each other, you know, and we've kind of we've done that a lot over the years, you know, like
At different levels.
yeah, and just like you say, like trying to keep progressing with other areas of life, like there's pillars to this life thing, and there's balance, you know.
Just help them.
Yeah. So like, you know, and it's been sort of becoming more well-rounded as a individual and as a human, and like really trying to sit in and understand yourself.
It's confronting.
Which is confronting. It's going to be pretty fucking rough.
Yeah.
So excuse the language. But yeah, really trying to look at yourself and listen to yourself and understand what you need back in order to keep moving, keep growing, and be able to keep giving back to others.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about, right? But like, how? So, you know, for example, there's some people that, you know, who do you speak to fill your cup up, or who do you go to help you out emotionally?
A lot of the time it's each other.
Yeah,
a lot of the time it is each other.
There's still
what if you don't have though that person that, because you
so
guys
you
have
have
a dynamic.
others.
But we are lucky enough to have like
Each other.
good each other, but obviously good friends.
Yes.
We do have some really close friends that those ones that you can kind of, man, you're in a bit of a spot, you just flick them a message or something, you know, a voice and then 5 minutes later they've got something back for you. You know?
The other thing too is, so like, because I was thinking about this as you were talking before, jiu-jitsu is a cup filler for us.
Yes.
So it's kind of unbalanced with where we're going at the moment, but more than just showing up for the sport and the learning, it's showing up for the people. So, I mean, that's a massive thing for us, and where we kind of like ended or paused our jiu-jitsu journey until we moved, but was in a space, we were in a shed.
We're in
a garage. But it was around people that, like, I'd show up in the middle of those preps and be like, I'm sorry guys, I shouldn't really even be here, I've got nothing to give you right now. And they turn around and go,
is this in training or give you as
As in me.
Oh, yeah.
Me as in like, because we all show up the energy in any
Yeah.
space, right?
Yeah.
You've got your shubber energy, and
Yeah.
you know, we've all got our
Yeah.
own. But so showing up in a space where you feel like you've got nothing to give anybody, it
Yes.
feels really selfish.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'm aware that I'm just taking from everybody else.
Yes. Yes.
But to show up in those spaces and then turn around and be like, you're all good. We're
Yeah.
here to give you energy.
Yes.
In a week or two's time,
Yes.
we're going to need it from you.
From you, yeah.
So it's that exchange. And
Yeah.
I guess you find your spots, and that's where CrossFit and F45, all
Yes.
these group sports,
Yes.
are so good because
Yes.
it's an exchange of energy all the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
But yeah, selfishly, yes, we give each other a lot back.
Yes.
And actually, with what we've been going through recently with the move, there's been another level up in connection again, in the sense of there's been a lot of
Trusting?
yeah,
Or anxiety. Yeah.
anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
been a lot of anxiety,
Mm.
anticipation,
Mm.
stress, lots of feelings.
Mm.
And when we've woken up and all I feel is those feelings and just empty from all of the decluttering of our life,
Mm.
I have nothing to give myself, but I can look at him and see the same feeling and give him everything. Where the fuck that comes from? I don't know. But
It's
vice
love,
versa.
I reckon. That's what it
But
is.
it's understanding.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can kind of look
Yeah.
at that person and go, holy shit, like, I'm feeling
Yeah.
this feeling
That.
heavy.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that.
Yes. Imagine.
But,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
she needs
She
this
needs
back
me.
from me
Yeah.
right now, you know. So
Yeah.
I've got to kind of step up to the plate a little bit,
Mm.
give that back so
Mm.
she can keep moving along, but so we can collectively keep moving
Yeah.
together, you know.
But what if, because, like, I was thinking this from a point of view as being a coach, right? And like having so many clients that I keep giving to people, right? But yet, there's only so much I can give them
Yeah.
because of how much I have within
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I think for me,
Mm.
I've come to a place that we've been doing dynamic in our fitness now for 10 years. And in the start, it felt like I was really giving all the time.
Yeah.
When I was I would accept anybody on,
Yeah.
like, come to me,
Yes.
help me out here
Yes.
grow.
Yes.
Now that I've kind of refined things more, and not that I'm
Yes.
saying no to people,
Yes.
but it's more, I'm very clear about who I am and what I have to offer.
Yes.
There's so much depth in what I give my
Yes.
ladies now.
Yeah.
I actually get a lot of depth back.
Yes.
So
Nice.
not every single one is a really intense connection.
Yes.
You don't click personally with everybody.
everyone. Yeah.
But you kind of, I think, when you can show up really conviction as
Yes.
this is who I am,
Yes.
and give some more depth of who you are,
Yes. Yes.
to show up as a coach and also be able to say, look, I'm not perfect. I'm
Yes.
actually feeling really shit this week.
Yeah.
To be able to share those back and forward, you create more of a
Yes.
human experience where they can
Relate.
and they feel like they can give back to you.
Yeah.
So the dynamic can
Yeah.
kind of change. And I
Yeah.
think you've even got men where it changes a bit like that too. eh?
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people are just real straightforward, straight up.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I know what you require from me.
Yeah.
I know what I need to give
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Sweet, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we're
Yeah.
easy. You
And
know?
that's them fulfilled.
And then some others, it's like, cool, like this person, I can feel this
They need
coming.
more.
They need more, so I
Yes.
give them,
More.
you know, okay, they give me back. Cool, now we've got
Yes.
this mutual exchange here.
Yes.
Sweet, we can move to here.
Yes.
This is what
Yes.
they need. Awesome. You know,
Yes.
like, cool. I'm
That's
there.
awesome.
You're there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yes.
that.
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're giving them an opportunity as well to connect deeper
Definitely.
and further with you, right?
Definitely.
It's really when they come on with us, it's really how far do you want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Throw that out there, like, oh, they liked that. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because the space that we're moving into, and you understand this now
Yes.
as well,
Yeah.
it starts off as I want to lose fat and I want to
Yeah.
gain some muscle and I want to look different on the outside.
Yeah.
And you can really run from the things that actually help you achieve that, which is starting to deal with you on the inside.
Yes. Yes.
But it can also actually become this thing of, oh, this is where all the progress is.
Yes.
I'm
Limitless, only you can do what you were meant to.